A Sucker for Love. Oh my god, this episode from Happy Tree Friends sucks, picking up where the previous episode left off. Nutty happily glances at a heart-shaped box of chocolates in a candy store window. He has a daydream where he is wearing a top hat and carrying the box of chocolates, which is wearing a bridal veil. Over the threshold, he then imagines himself and the box of chocolates riding a tandem bike together. Next, he makes breakfast in bed for the box of chocolates, getting milk from Lumpy the milkman. Afterwards, Nutty rides in an ambulance next to the box of chocolates lying on a gurney. The box has a bulge in its center, meaning that it is pregnant. Suddenly, its water breaks. The scene shifts to Nutty as a father happily carrying a small box of chocolates in his hands while pushing a stroller with 3 other small boxes of chocolate. Next, as Nutty comes home from work, Lumpy exits his house, chocolate covering his face. Nutty is then seen angrily looking at photos of Lumpy having an affair with his chocolate box wife. Nutty swears vengeance, and then suddenly, the scene shifts to him being in gaol, possibly due to attempting to murder Lumpy. Later, now dressed in a striped shirt and hat and missing his usual candy wardrobe, he walks to the visiting area. He sees the box of chocolates, which seems to have a dent in one of its corners, on the other side of the glass. Nutty cries and begins licking the glass. Finally, on the day Nutty is released, he sees the box of chocolates waiting for him in a car. He rushes over to the car, breaks down into tears, and kisses the box, sorry for the way he treated it. The scene shifts again, and now Nutty and the box of chocolates are old and in rocking chairs. Nutty hears a thump and sees that the box has fallen off its rocker, apparently having died from natural causes. He cries in anguish while eating the chocolates that fell on the ground. Before the fantasy sequence concludes, the elderly Nutty stands in the rain at the box's grave. After the daydream, Nutty runs over to the store and tries to enter, only to find that the door is locked. He begins pulling on the doorknob, trying to get inside. His waddling of the door causes a candy cane sign hanging above it to fall down. It trips off Nutty's tail and becomes stuck to his back. Screaming in pain, he runs away. Elsewhere, Pop and Cub are in the mole's ambulance, which is speeding away towards the hospital. The mole takes his eyes off the road and reaches down to grab something off the floor of the vehicle. Nutty runs into the road and slips on the gumballs that fell on the ground when he broke the gumball machine earlier. He looks up and sees the ambulance speeding towards him, and before he can move out of its way, he gets hit. Nutty is dragged along the road by the front of the ambulance, scraping his stomach on the asphalt. When the ambulance enters the hospital, he is impaled and cut on a traffic spike the ambulance drives over, killing him. Inside the ambulance, the mole gives Cub what he was looking for, the lollipop from the previous episode, with Cub's face still attached to it. Before the episode ends, Cub squeals in fright at the sight of his bloody, severed face. So screw A Sucker for Love, and screw the scissor knife. And a gem is so many times better than A Sucker for Love. End of rant.